Hi guys, welcome to a new series, North Node in Pisces. So in order to reflect that beautiful, mysterious Pisces energy, I'm wearing this beautiful, mystical, fairy, blue, shiny dress. So you guys can get a better idea of what Pisces is. So we're gonna dive deep because Pisces is water. But before we do that, let's go back to your South Node in Virgo and see what kind of energies, what kind of memories you're working with, what kind of lifetimes you've had. And then we're going to dive into each house specifically to see how your South Node and North Node manifests. All right, so South Node in Virgo, you guys have a lot of memories of lifetimes when you were of service. You love to be of service. That's your biggest strength that you bring to all of us. If in fact, you don't know yourself unless you are of service on some level, and that's your biggest fear in a sense, that you're not going to be needed. You want to be needed. You like for people to depend on you. That's where you shine. So as far as skills that you bring with you with Virgo South Node, practicality, the idea of service. The difference between Pisces and Virgo as far as service, because they both like to be of service, is Pisces is self-sacrificial. Pisces loses itself. Pisces is like a martyr. Virgo is different. Virgo is practical service, grounded service. So you guys have a great attention to detail. You have an eye for you can come in and you can notice what's not functioning, what's not right, what's dirty, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be cleaned. You love things that are dirty. And it can be all kinds of things, from a dirty room to a dirty, somebody's dirty emotional life, somebody's dramatic life. You're very good at coming in and cleaning shit up. You love that. And the dirtier, the messier, the better for you, because then you really feel like I gave it all and I freaking saved somebody today. You love to save people. You are my... If I were to describe Virgo, I would say it's a mixture between Capricorn and Gemini, because it has the practicality and the groundness of Capricorn and that hard work. But at the same time, it has that sharp, quick mind of Gemini. Your mind is sharp. You have great attention to detail. You're great at work that requires a long time, looking at something and breaking it apart, and you don't get bored of that. In fact, you love that. Some people could say, I can't do it, my head hurts. You're different. You will sit there and you'll figure it out. So you guys make great accountants. You guys make, bookkeepers, record keepers, anything where meticulousness is required, attention to detail, no mistakes. Virgo does not tolerate mistakes. Virgo, in that sense, is very perfectionist in the idea of that it has to be done perfect. So if somebody looks at it, they can't find nothing. They can't find a pile of dirt anywhere. People that come in and they swipe like that to see if there's any dust left. That's you guys. So when you guys are done with something, it's squeaky clean. And I mean that in direct sense, with actually cleaning stuff, and also in the theoretical sense. You guys are my cleaners, my fixers, my Ray Donovans that come in and they get the job done and they fix it. When everybody else is running away and panicking, you guys are right there. Put your gloves on and get down to it. All right, so a lot of skills when it comes to precision, detail. At the same time, you're great at, a lot of times they associate Virgo with medical professions. You had a lot of lifetimes where you were of service in a medical way, in a health way, nurses, doctors, surgeons, anywhere where there is a requirement for precision, for attention, for figuring it out, pinpointing it. You do have a scientific mind as well. Your mind is sharp. So you could have been somebody who was very good at catching things, at noticing detail. You guys are great at coming in anywhere. Let's say, how they have these shows where they have I think it's a beauty salon. The woman comes in, I think it's Tabitha, I don't know. She comes in and she right away, she sees what's not working, what needs to be fixed, what could make this place more efficient. That's what Virgo is good at. Now, the downside of Virgo South Nodes is that you guys, because you're so good at detail, because you place such high importance on achieving high quality work, you're perfectionist. So the idea of perfectionist, there's nothing wrong with that, but perfectionist in the extreme can drive you crazy, literally, where you're never satisfied with whatever you produce, where you're always nitpicking. And you do that to yourself more than anybody, right? The first one that gets to feel that is yourself. That idea that you're not perfect, you gotta be better, you gotta be more detailed, better, you can do better. And then it goes on to other people. You do that to other people. You nitpick them apart. You destroy them with your mind. Your mind that's so focused on details and stuff can destroy somebody in every way. You can look at their appearance and you can just completely just, like a surgeon, like a plastic surgeon, the way they like circle things and make little marks, you can do that to somebody and completely just disassemble them and put them together the way you want to see them, because you have a vision. Virgo knows how things need to be. You think you do. You think that your way is the best way, most efficient way, most perfect way. But we all know that we're not all operating like that, you know. So what you guys may think is perfect to somebody can be a nightmare, because it's like it's too much pressure, you know. So Virgo has that tension in them that it has to be perfect, it has to be right, and I have to do it. And if I don't do it, if I don't say it, if I don't pinpoint a finger and criticize, that person is never going to get the better version of themselves. So you guys have that in you. You kind of want to save everybody, and you're very quick to come in and say, you're wrong, this is fucked up, you need to eat better, you need to lose weight, this is dirty, you need to wash your hair. Those kind of ideas, you know. Virgo is critical. Virgo can be very critical, the most critical zodiac sign, and you guys are known for that, and that's okay. So what else? Virgo is also very prudish, because Virgo has this idea of what's right and what's wrong, and you know, Virgo has very clear boundaries on what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, what's respectful, what's disrespectful. You know, you guys can be very judgmental. You can be very prejudiced as well. You know, you have this idea of how things should be, and you are not afraid to express it. And more than likely, it's, you know, a lot of people probably maybe don't like to be around you so much, because you're always pinpointing their flaws, you know, and nobody likes to see that. So anyway, what else? I guess we can talk more when we dive into each specific house, but I guess general idea would be, you guys can be prejudiced, you guys can be very prudish, you know, this is wrong, this is inappropriate, you know, this is dirty, you know, let's say sex is dirty, you know, we don't do it like this, don't eat like this, make sure you etiquette, you know. Virgo is beautiful in its idea of details and making sure everything's spick and span, but if you take it to an extreme, it becomes destructive. It becomes, instead of building things up, it tears things down, because it just destroys them and says, this is wrong, this is not up to my standards. All right, so with North Node in Pisces, you're here to completely challenge, to change the way you think, the way you approach this world. Instead of coming in with a magnifying glass and sitting there and you know, and looking to see the mistakes, because Virgo is very good at seeing mistakes, mishaps. Virgo has a lot of pet peeves, you know, because the idea of perfection is it has to be like this, and you're very neurotic in that sense. So with Pisces North Node, you're here to let go of that, and it's going to be hard for you guys, because Virgo, anytime there's a South Node in an Earth sign, it's going to be very hard to break through that rigidity, you know, because Earth signs, they're stubborn in the way they do things. So Virgo is stubborn in the idea of perfection, in the idea of meticulousness, in the idea of the standards that Virgo has. So with Pisces North Node, you're here to let go of that, to lose yourself in your experience, to lose yourself in the day-to-day, to not look for details, but to see the bigger picture. Instead of tearing things down with your mind, look at it, you know, step back and look at it as the perfection and beauty that it is. Even if it looks fucked up, even if it's dirty, even if it's completely messed up in your critical mind, because your mind is very critical. Even if it looks completely messed up, completely just crazy, does not fit any of your standards, you still have to see the beauty of it. Pisces North Node is unconditional. Pisces is artistic. Pisces challenges you to go from that logical mind and lose yourself in the world of mystery, in the world of intuition, in the world of music, the arts, anything ethereal, fairy tales, anything that's cray-cray, anything that your mind would deem as, oh no, we can't go there, we can't go down that rabbit hole, we're gonna lose our mind. You can lose your mind, guys. It's okay for you guys. It's okay for you guys to completely let go of that inner critic and completely open up to the beauty of you, because you have so much feeling in you and so much intuitive in you, and you want to feel that so much. You desire to get lost in that, because you're tired of being that doctor, that surgeon, that nurse that's like, you know, or that critic that's always like looking for like the wrongs. And you're here to embrace everything around you and get lost in it and produce some beautiful stuff, because Pisces is so artistic, and you could literally just go on this beautiful journey, and then of course share it with us, and you can still be of service, but it's not going to be the critical way. It's going to be in the way of beauty, of calling us, beckoning us like a siren to get lost in your deep waters. Okay, guys, so now let's go into each house and see what we're dealing with over there. Okay? All right, come along. North Node in Pisces in the first house. All right, guys, so before we dive into that and get to know that, let's talk about your baggage with the South Node in Virgo in the 7th. So the first thing that comes to mind with that one is you guys were the anal boyfriends and girlfriends, anal partners. When I say anal, I don't mean sexual. I mean like somebody who was so nitpicky, somebody who had these crazy perfectionist ideas of what a partner should be, of what a relationship should be like, of what constitutes a perfect relationship. You had a quest for perfection. Now, before I criticize you guys, let's talk about, before I go Virgo on you, let's talk about the good stuff about Virgo in the 7th. So the good stuff of that is that you've had lifetimes where you are of service to your partners. You know, you approach your partnership as almost like this duty idea of like service, you know, like I'm here to take care of the needs of my partner. You are the one that was very good at anticipating your partner's needs in a very practical way. So you were not the one that was all romantic and flowers and poems. No, you're the one that, hey, she's out of milk. Let me go get her some milk. Hey, she needs some tampons. Let me go to the store and run and get some tampons. Like for you, there was nothing taboo in a sense of whatever your partner needed, you were there to provide it. That's the good part of Virgo in the 7th. You're very good at, you know, studying your partner and noticing the details of what your partner wants, what they like, their personality, and you kind of catered to that. You know, you took a very practical approach, and you were there for your partner. You were the one that if they were throwing up, you're right there with them, holding their hair. You know, you were the same with your, you know, co-workers. The same, always, just kind of saving everybody, helping everybody, always there. Everybody could always rely on you. Virgo is very reliable. You're very reliable in your partnerships. That's the good part. Now let's go to the critical part. So like I said, you're a perfectionist partner, a partner who had very high standards because you held yourself to those standards, you know, of cleanliness, of what are we going to do together, of you know, what are we going to talk about, our lifestyle together, you know, what goals are we going to achieve. You had a certain idea, a certain list. Your partner was like a to-do list. And you wanted to make sure that you almost became like this, you wanted to change your partner. You guys had lifetimes where you were never happy with the partner that you had, and you always felt like you had to change them, you had to tweak them, you had to change the way they dress, you know, the way they smell, the way they, you know, what they like, what they eat, are they healthy, are they not? You're very, very, very active in your partner's life. You know, you were right there, hands-on, telling them what to do. Was never good enough for you. Even if the partner did change for you, you were never satisfied. And so you were never satisfied with yourself, obviously, and you're projecting that on your partner. You know, nothing was good enough. You also somebody who was, it was hard to relax around you. You know, with Virgo in the 7th, you were a partner that was always, like I said, neurotic, always like, you know, maybe hypochondriac, anxiety. Oh my God, something's gonna happen. You know, always living in that idea that shit's gonna go down and we have to figure out how to fix it, you know. So what else? Ideas perfection, idea of worry, you know, like a worry word, always, what are you doing? Where are you? Why aren't you answering your phone? You know, almost like a mothering idea, but not really, kind of close to that, you know, where you treated your partnership not like love or, you know, sharing with one another and spending time. It was more like you took it as a job, you took it as a task. You know, you were the one that was like, how can I make my relationship perfect? And you took a lot of pride in that, especially if the partner was pliable and did everything you wanted. For a while, you were satisfied. But then again, you know, your mind would kick in and say, no, we need to change. I don't like the way he's doing this. I don't like the way he's eating. You probably have a lot of pet peeves as far as being around, you know, your lovers. Like, you know, you probably hate the way popcorn sounds when somebody eats that, or chips, or little things like that get on your nerves, you know, because Virgo in the South Node can be neurotic in a sense. It can be very triggered by, like, you know, a certain noise or a certain pattern, you know. What else could be there? Virgo in the 7th. You had a checklist, you know, of like, this, what came to mind to me was, I know you know of people like that, or maybe you heard about them, people that have spreadsheets as far as girls that they dated. And I know this one about guys because I saw the example was about guys. girls that they dated, and they have like a check, you know, like a spreadsheet where, like, let's say Susie, big tits, gives great head, you know, doesn't dress nice, you know, pluses and minuses. Then you go like Rebecca, very funny, charismatic. I don't like her teeth. She needs to. She not a healthy eater. Doesn't like to work out. So you would literally break your partner like a pros and cons. It was very easy for you to detach yourself. You're very logical when you approach relationships. So you detach yourself and you look at somebody literally like very prudish, very cold, and judgmental. You were like the examples that I gave. It was very easy for you to make that list. And to somebody, it may seem like, are you crazy? How can you break somebody down like that? How can you analyze somebody from these stupid criteria? But to you, they were not stupid. To you, they made perfect sense because you were looking for perfection, efficiency, and the best possible partner out there for you. But obviously, you never found that partner because everybody's perfect. But you could never see that. Your perfection was based on your ideals. But everybody is perfect in our own way, you know. So, all right. So if we move into your the North Node in Pisces in the first. So once again, you're going to have to get away from that logical mind, that critical eye. You have such a critical eye within you. And you're here to kind of forget about others, forget about fixing your partners, forget about saving them. You know, maybe you were, another idea could be, if you were not nitpicking at them, you were always the one that, you know, Virgo always feels like, I know what's good for this person and I know what they need. And they don't even know it, but I know it. So they're lucky to have me in their life to point them in the right direction. So you would take your partners on like a project, and you would make sure that you change them, you know, for their own betterment. That's how you justified it in your head. So a lot of focus around partners, around people. You know, you're used to always being around people. You're used to, you know, interacting with them, and just your whole life depended on either fixing people, saving them, and just, that's all you knew. You only know yourself as far as interactions with people. North Node in Pisces, you're here to kind of step back from relationships, step back from romance, because your view of romance is fucked up. Your view of romance is not what romance is. You know, it's very logical, robotic, cold, prejudice. Yeah, the idea of prejudice is also there. You know, like this, they're not good enough for me. They're not good enough for me because they don't come from the right family, or they don't dress nice. You know, you looked at those little things. So, yeah, one more time. Pisces in the North Node in the first. You're here to get away from that. You're here to get away from your dependency on others and knowing yourself in service to others. You need to get away from that. You need to completely focus on you, in service to you, but not through nitpicking and criticizing, but through shifting and being, it's gonna be hard, guys. I'm not lying. It's gonna be really hard. You're here to let go of that cold, calculating persona and be this ethereal, dreamy, sweet, magical, fairy, intuitive, loving everybody kind of person. But before you can love everybody, you know, because with Pisces in the first, you are going to have that, you have that sweet appearance about you, you have that in your eyes, you have that dreaminess in your eyes, you know, that idea where like, what's behind those eyes? You have that. With Pisces in the first, you have that, because Pisces ascendant, you know, it's water ascendant, it's mystical, it's mysterious. You look mysterious, you know, in a very ethereal kind of way. So you kind of need to focus on that, and you need to develop more of that. You need to focus on, you know, your appearance, the way you express yourself. You know, you need to get away from the logical, from the critical. You kind of need to shut up in a sense before you say something, and kind of look at it and say, do I really need to criticize it, or can I just let it be? Can I just look at this flower without breaking it apart and seeing what makes up this flower, and just look at it and say, wow, this is a beautiful flower. It's so beautiful, and there's no one like it. That's the idea. You're here to see the specialness of everybody. You're here to not break people down with your standards in your mind, but to look at them as to see the beauty in them. But first, you're going to have to see that beauty in you, because just as you are perfectionist and critical of your partners, that means you are like that of yourself. So you have to completely change the way you look at yourself. You have to emphasize the beauty in you. You have to accept everything about you. You know, you have to just say, fuck it, this is how I was made. This is my body. Let me make the best of it. You know, don't try to change it. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to make yourself perfect. See how perfect you already are. See how beautiful you already are. I don't care if your mind is telling you you're ugly. You are beautiful. See the sweetness in you, the magic in you. In the way you dress, you know, once again, maybe have more like bohemian, more, you know, sparkly like this. Virgo would never wear anything like this. Virgo is like, wait a minute, that's not practical. You're not here to be practical. You're here to be flowy, to be like a princess. I don't know, guys. You know, the colors you wear, you know, they can't be grays and whites and blues. They have to be shiny and sparkly and mystical, and maybe get into this character of something, like a character of some kind of a princess or something, guys. Like, you really gotta get really in touch with your persona, how you express yourself, how you dress, you know, when you walk into the room, and just shift that and make it more flowy. You're here to be more flowing in your expression, you know. And then when you accomplish that yourself, then you'll be able to do that to others. You'll be able to, like, you know, infuse them with magic. You know, you will just, people will want to be around you because you're going to be mysterious, and you're going to be, you know, they're going to want to know, and they want to be like, you know, can I get into your fairy tale? You know, can I be part of it? That kind of idea. So create your own fairy tale. Find your fairy tale. Find the beauty within you. Surround yourself with beauty. You know, next time when you want to say something critical, stop. You know, next time when you look at somebody and you want to see the critical in them, see the beauty in them. Notice something, even if it's just one thing. Even if you're criticizing 10 things about them, notice one thing that you're like, wow, it's so freaking beautiful, and focus on that and tell them that. That would be you guys, okay? All right, enjoy it.